Chapter 1. Prologue. Allison. Pov. I stood outside Mr. Hertz's door twirling my fingers together, very nervous and terrified. Why am I so anxious? Speaking to him shouldn't be this hard after all, he's my legal guardian, not some monster. Taking a deep breath, I held firmly to the handle and pushed the door open. Mr. Hertz, I called as I slowly tiptoed my way into his gray painted office with a floor-to-ceiling window which faced the main road. I remember as a kid, I would always sneak in here to stare at the view, when he was out on business trips, of course. Shaking the memory off my mind, I took my eyes to the left. That's when I saw him sighted behind his desk, his eyes focused on a piece of paper in his hands. Gulping, I moved further and stood in front of his desk. "What do you want, Allison?" he asks without even lifting me a mere glance. I sucked in a deep breath before deciding to speak up. My school is having a museum excursion in Miami this weekend and I would really love to attend it this time. Please, let me go. He lifted his cold eyes up to me for a spilled second, clenching his jaw tightly as if I had said something very abominable. "You know the rules. I had a feeling he would say that. I have heard him say those 4 annoying words almost my entire life. "It is a huge part of my assessment and you had promised I could go this year. I said, giving him a really cute poppy eye, hoping it would maybe piss him off and let me go. I have been looking forward to this trip for months. I need this trip. I need to make it out of this 4 walls and out of his tight leash. The answer is still no. Now leave. He blurted coldly and turned back to work. "Please. I pleaded. "Out, Ellie. He growled. I sighed and turned to walk away. I should have known better. I would have had a better chance with Voldemort. Anyway, my name is Allison Becky Stone and I am a 17-year-old high school student. I have never met my parents, but according to our sweet housekeeper Hannah, they left me with Mr. Hertz when I was a child, but I know that's another nice way of saying they are both dead, gone and never coming back. I feel sad about it sometimes. Just maybe if they were still alive I wouldn't have had to deal with Mr. Grumpy Pants here." And yes, I said maybe for a reason. "What did he say?" Hannah asked as soon as I stepped into the kitchen. "The usual." I scoffed, leaning my body against the kitchen counter. "Sorry dear, maybe next time." She said, giving me an apologetic smile. "He says the same thing every year." I let out a silent sigh. "Why does he hate me so much, Hannah?" I asked rhetorically. She frowns. "He doesn't hate you, dear. This is just his way of protecting and guarding you." From what stupid horny high school teenagers? I rolled my eyes at that. "The world is a dangerous place, Allie, especially for a powerful man like David. Try and understand." She said with a reassuring smile. "I am not surprised. She always defends him. If I didn't know better I would think she has a thing for him or something. He just likes being in control of everyone. It's like the man feeds on power or something." I scoffed. "I can't wait till I turn 18 and be out of his hair for good," I mumbled under my breath. "Ellie." She warns, and immediately I knew where this conversation was heading to. "I'm out of here. I will be in my room." I picked up an apple from the fruit basket and stormed up to my room. The last thing I needed to hear are more quotes from Hannah on how Mr. Hertz, a.k.a. Grumpy Pants, has been trying to protect me. Lies. To me, he's just a control freak and nothing would change my mind about that. Period. David Hertz. I was reviewing some company files in my office when I heard a knock, diverting my full attention to the door. I groaned. "Come in." I uttered, and not a second later the door swung open. "David, can I talk to you for a second?" Hannah asked as she stepped further into my office. I could already tell she's upset about someone. "What has the kid done now?" I blurted, turning my eyes back to the papers on my desk. "I swear that girl is always up to something. You tell me." She frowned, folding her hands to her chest. I let out a deep sigh, turning to her. "What now, Hannah? What has she done?" "Why won't you just let her go? It's just a school trip and lots of other teenagers her age would be there." "It's too dangerous. She's no longer a child and soon you wouldn't have to worry about her anymore. But for now allow that girl to grow and learn with other kids her age. Would you at least give it a thought?" She paused, waiting for my response. "David." She scolded. I groaned. "Hannah, I am not letting her out of my sight and that's final. So drop it." I hurled, already irritated with this conversation. "You're going to make that child hate you and we both very well know that's not what you want." She said calmly. "She should. It would surely make things easier for the both of us. And if that's all, I would like to get back to work now." She sighed silently and turned to leave, murmuring things only she could hear under her breath. As I heard the door slam shut, I leaned back against my leather chair and raked my hands through my hair frustratedly. If only Allison knew how much danger she's in by being so careless and nonchalant all the time. She won't be taking things so lightly. In the meantime, I need to tighten up her security. Matt could be anywhere out there in search of her. This is just the starting chapter. Stay tuned for more and don't forget to vote and comment if you like it. Love Yadi. Chapter 2. I was heading out for school this morning when Henna informed me that Mr. Hertz requested to see me urgently in his office, and I've been in here for almost 5 minutes and he still hasn't said a word or even glanced up at me. The nerve of him. He's currently gazing out the window pane, which makes wonder what he's staring at or why he does that in the first place. It's not like anyone comes around here anyway. I cleared my throat for the 5th time to remind him I was still here. He clearly seems to have forgotten. Finally, he speaks up, breaking the silence. From now on, you will be escorted by a bodyguard, he says. Wait, what? You can't do that. I let out almost instantly. He turns and stares narrowly at me as if daring me to repeat my words, which had me immediately correcting myself. I mean, I don't need a bodyguard. I can perfectly take care of myself, so that won't be necessary. But thank you though. He walks back to his desk, without even glancing my way. It's already settled and it's not up for discussion. He said, and for the first time since I stepped into this room, he lifted his eyes to me. That will be all. My temper began boiling up and I balled my hands into a fist to prevent myself from lashing them on him. Who does he think he is? Zeus. Why do you keep ruining everything in my life? How every chance of freedom I get from you in this stupid cell of a house. I found myself yelling at him in fury. I suddenly didn't feel so frightened by him anymore. Watch your mouth. He warned in a threatening tone. I don't care. Christ. I hate you so much, Mr. Hertz. I roared with a sob, before storming out his office. I knew I would eventually pay for my words, but I could care less at the moment. I was so pissed and raged that I didn't notice Henna standing outside his office. What happened, child? She asked in a concerned voice. Why are you crying? I wiped my tears. What else? All he ever does is ruin every freedom in my life, I said with tears in my eyes. I hate him so much. I mumbled mistily. Don't say that, child. Henna said calmly. Why? It's the truth. I swiped my tears with my palm. I'm off to school. At least that's the only thing constant in my life that he hasn't ruined, at least not yet, I muttered and stormed out of the door. At school. I hate high school. It sucks. The hallway is crowded with people, and the chaos was so nosy, like an underrated movie. There is a couple making out on the left side of the hall, and about 10 feet farther down, the Click-Wee girls. Opposite them, the Click-Wee jocks, and between them, the parade of band geeks with their huge instrument cases. There were the aerospace tech kids who never did anything but make paper airplanes, and the fashion kids that wheeled mannequins and clothing racks down the halls. And then there was me. Not that I fit into any of those groups. I was pretty much invisible to the rest of the school, and it would have mattered if I was slightly bothered. Deciding to ditch the second period, I settled in the school cafeteria and sulked into my thoughts. Are you okay? A voice chirped in and I looked up to see my best friend Dylan. I knew it won't take long before he sorts me out in the crowd. You seem weirder than usual, he teased. Dylan and I have been best friends since 7th grade. He's more like the only person I'm very comfortable talking with. Yes, I whispered. I didn't see you in class. What happened? He asks. I just didn't feel like hearing Mrs. Robinson blab about her stupid, annoying cats. He chuckled. Fair enough, he let out as he snuggled up next to me. So, how was your day? I asked, trying to distract myself a little bit. He groaned. Fucked up. I got a detention from Mrs. Robinson again and an emotional pep talk from the principal about my slipping grades. Dylan is one of the smartest boys in school, so you could imagine the principal's concern when his grades began to slip up a bit. Whoa, today's not your day. I let out amusingly. Tell me about it. He rolled his eyes anyway. Do you want to ditch the rest of the day? Someone is feeling extra naughty today. I teased. He scoffed silently. Are you in or not? Sure, why not? I'm in a good need of a distraction anyway. He helped me pack up my stuff into my bag, before we sneaked out the school premises to a place we call our special place. A few minutes later, We sat and cross-legged on the sandy shore and stared at the horizon in front of us. Waves of a deep royal blue crept towards us. Beyond those magical waves was something even more amazing and breathtaking. The sunset. Beautiful smudges of coral, lavender, turquoise, and a fiery orange blended together to create a sight so astounding it swept me away from all of my worries. I can never get used to this place. Thanks for bringing me here. I said, giving him a happy smile. He smiled back before it turned serious. Are you going to tell me what's been